I'm Gary Erickson.
And I'm Tyler Hogue.
We became best buds through the heavy music scene.
And now we're doing a podcast, breaking down our favorite bands, albums, and shows.
This is All Consuming Podcast. Welcome, everyone, to another episode. Today we're going to talk about an awesome new band, well, new to Facedown, called Bloodlines. And we're going to talk about their EP that came out last year called Hevel.
Oh, so good, man.
When I first saw the name of this EP, I thought it was like a mixture of heaven and hell, put together. So I was like, Hevel, right? Anyway, Googling and reading, that's not what it's a real word, you guys. It's a real word.
It's actually a thing, right? I didn't know either. Looked it up and I was like, oh, okay. So it's, from Ecclesiastes, basically like vanity, right? The vanity of vanities, Hevel. So that was kind of interesting. But now that we know how to say it and we figured it out, I'm pretty stoked to talk about these guys.
There's another thing we need to figure out how to say before we start.
Yeah.
Brooke.
We're gonna talk about Brooke because he was a guest vocalist on one of the songs on Hevel, and when we did the Impending Doom episode, we called them Brooks the entire episode, and we realized it after we recorded it. And
we're like editing, and every time we're like, "Oh my gosh, how do we fix this?"
Yeah. I think that's more embarrassing. If we were to mispronounce Hevel, that'd be way less embarrassing than mispronouncing Brooke the entire episode.
Yeah. We messaged him and said our bad, and he said it's cool. He forgives us, so.
Yeah. So Gary, when was the first time you actually heard Bloodlines?
So I discovered these guys, I think because of a Spotify algorithm. And it was from a single that isn't on any of their albums or EPs, and which makes me kind of sad because it's a really awesome song. It's called Deadlock.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the music is just spot on. And I was so surprised when I heard it. I thought, these guys are Christian. They must be on some label somewhere. Yeah. But they did it all themselves. And, the production and the mix on it is just super awesome. There's no clean vocals, and it's just, it goes heavy,
Yeah.
So
when was that? 2017?
Yeah, I think right when that came out, because I remember it not having any plays and being like, no one's heard of this. And you know what, Tyler? I'm pretty sure I sent you.
Well, okay. So here's the deal. As everyone knows by now, that Gary is my Spotify. I mean, we've made that pretty much clear. Gary just sends me music, and then if
where's my $15 a month, Tyler?
And he sends me these songs and or artists or whatever, and sometimes I get to it, other times I don't. And but this time, Gary actually sent me this EP. He said, "Hey, check out Hevel. It's so good." And do you remember what you described it as when you sent it to me?
No.
It was so earth shattering that I remember.
You didn't believe me or
verbatim.
Something, or?
You said, for today lyrics with better breakdowns. You literally said that. For today lyrics with better breakdowns.
Modern breakdowns.
And I said,
but okay, I'll stand by that.
Excuse me?
Sure.
Is that not metalcore blasphemy, Gary?
So, did it live up to my description?
Dude, so, yeah. I mean, come on. I listened to it, and that was the first time I ever heard of the band when you sent that to me, and I listened to it while I was mowing the lawn. Because sometimes when I'm mowing, I listen to podcasts or music or whatever. And I vividly remember, the first song, getting really into it. I mean, Lotus is it starts off screaming Yahweh. I mean...
What a way to start.
What a way to start. Are you kidding me? And then by the time Devil started, the second track, I'm literally moshing while mowing my lawn. Arms flying back, Like
just
if you were to
swinging your lawnmower around in
like
circles.
hitting my chest with my fist, like all that, and like I'm sure like people around my neighborhood are like, "What's wrong with that guy?" Like he has to be doing like some sort of drugs or something because he's going nuts, you know.
Lawn mowing gets me pumped, man.
Dude, and it for some reason I always find myself like whenever I'm doing chores, I'm like listening to this EP, and my wife's not going to believe this next one that I'm going to say. It's true though. There was one time when I was doing the dishes, and this also came on, and usually I'm like just chilling or whatever, putting dishes away. But with this one, like it's the same thing. You get to just these parts that are so heavy and these breakdowns that are super awesome. And I'm swinging my arms around the kitchen with plates in my hand and putting them away and like
holding steak knives.
It's just going crazy. Like I'm not kidding. Like I think what I like most about this EP is it makes you want to move. It makes you want to just get in there and have fun. And so I think I don't know if you were right in like saying that they're better breakdowns than For Today, but I think it's a good comparison. I think the breakdowns are absolutely brutal.
Totally. We did a giveaway for this vinyl.
We did.
That's pretty cool. I have mine up on my wall right here.
Ooh. Look at you, Gary.
Pull it out. It's all gold, and it looks super cool. But, yeah, some guy, I don't really remember his name, but his username was like Maggot or something. But I messaged him when I got mine, and I was like, did you get yours? And he's like, I'm going to go check. And there it was. Just waiting for him.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was a cool giveaway. I think, like, for us, we were talking about this, too. Like, Hevel, if we were to do, like, an EP, like, of the year, it's EP of the year for sure.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Hands down, this whole EP, all 5 songs, go hard. And it's really unmatched, I think, this year, which was really awesome.
Yep, I totally agree. It was really hard doing so when we announced our albums of the year, we included everything. LPs to EPs, whatever. And what we did was like a community, vote. And so it wasn't like Tyler and I's pick. Like we didn't sit down and debate. We just put up the polls on our Discord and said, as albums released, we'd put them on this like release channel and people would vote. And whoever had the most votes won.
Yeah.
And Phineas, way at the top, kept getting all the votes. I would have voted for Idle Threat.
Idle Threat was a good one for LP.
As a LP, yeah. And the EP is easily this. Totally.
Gosh, man. Hey, you had a pretty killer meme, too, for this. It was like a mannequin. Do you remember that? And, like, Hevel was, like, releasing it. It was, like, this mannequin that looked exactly like their cover art. Mm-hmm. And you're like, man, even the stores are getting into the release of Hevel. So I thought that was a pretty good meme, Gary.
Well, I didn't find it, dude. Cody, one of our listeners, sent it to me and was like, I don't know what he said. Is this where they got their album cover idea? And I was like, dude. So I was like, can I steal this from you? And totally did that.
Dude, huge shout out to Cody. Huge shout out to our Discord, man. Like, they are all over it. I think that's pretty cool. If you have, like, any interest in helping create memes, man, jump on the Discord.
Yeah, we got to get the meme action going again.
We got to start getting some memes going again. Absolutely. And so, like, I think, like, looking at these lyrics, and we're going to do the deep dive, like, for our next episode, the second part of this, which is, like, super exciting. But listening to these lyrics, it brings you back to, I think, a different time in metalcore. Right? I think for me, it brings me back to those 2010s, early 2000s, where you have all these bands that are Christian metalcore bands that are just like having these types of lyrics that are so Christ-centered. And every song revolves around the Bible and it revolves around God.
Jesus.
And I mean, shoot, man, they're awesome. Just listening to their lyrics, like I want to hang out with these dudes. I want to talk to them about everything from just music to theology to everything. Like, they seem like super awesome dudes just from their music and what they write.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite? Oh, go for it.
Going back to you saying you were doing the dishes. So I was doing the dishes today. And, like, I always tell Alexa. I don't want her to hear me, so I have to... Dang it, she heard me. Alexa, stop. Anyway, my digital assistant, and I would say her name, and I would say, play Hevel by Bloodlines. And it goes to, like, this, like, blues rock band called Bloodline.
Oh.
And then I'm like, okay, stop. Right? Then I have to try again, and I enunciate the S. And I'm like, play the Hevel EP by Bloodlines. And she's like, playing songs by Bloodline. I'm like, where are you getting this? Eventually it gets to like this EDM hip-hop stuff.
Which is close.
And I was just like, you know what? Forget this. I'm just going to play it on my phone. And then eventually I think I just started saying like a track. I'd be like, play Lotus by Bloodlines.
And then it picks that up.
But like, I just want to listen to all 5 songs. But
yeah,
frustrating, man.
So, okay. Of that, though, what's your favorite song on the album or on the EP?
So this is actually very easy for me to answer.
Oh.
Like, I don't have a problem, and I will fight and whatever. Well, okay.
You're gonna fight?
My favorite track is Hevel, the very last song. Like, it kills me that it has a third of the plays that the other songs have. Like, I just like, you guys don't even know. But it is a favorite for me.
Sure.
It's not a song that I'd be like, oh, you want to check out Bloodlines? Check out Hevel. I would not do that. It's like my deep track. But other songs that like I would share, right? Like for my hardcore Hanks out there, I would play Devil. Oh, because like the breakdown and stuff is just brutal. But for the Melody Marys, got some names going.
What's going on here?
I would show them Colder because it's got a lot of like clean vocals. It's got a good hook. But yeah, just love Hevel. Like, it's so dynamic. It's melody and moody and just slow paced too. Like, I don't know. I could use a few more songs like that. Yeah. What about you, Tyler? Awesome. What's your favorite track?
You can guess. You know me. Just
Devil.
Say it. It's Devil. It's Devil.
You're hardcore.
It always has been. You know, Devil. I mean, the first time I heard the song, like, I just remember like the feeling when that breakdown hit. Like, I think my jaw like actually was like dropped. Like,
while you were mowing?
It's so well, I just stopped and said, "Oh my gosh." And the mower's just like Rah! But like I don't even know how it's just so heavy and it fits so perfectly, and you have Brooke in there and you have just perfectly like guitars going, and you have kind of this like trap beat or whatever. You got like some electronic stuff going.
We're getting into a deep dive talk already.
We are kind of, but like it's just so heavy. And the whole part, like the whole song, I could listen to that song over and over and over and get my groove on, man. I can't get over it. It's so good. So good.
So my brain's going slow today. You might be able to tell, but now I'm going to rewind a little bit to your how they remind you of like a 2010s hardcore. So I think you're spot on. I think what's different, or like what's like so gripping about it, is they have a lot more like production and like electronic sounds, and there's keys in it that aren't like overwhelming like the Devil Wears Prada early age stuff. Sure. Like it's just like synth stuff in the background. Then you got like the trap stuff that you just mentioned, and I think it just adds a lot more dynamics to the song. So like transitions and things just feel very modern, like very new. Yeah. And plus they throw in a breakdown, and it's just like, oh man, like this is so good.
To think that they did this on their own. Was this one? I mean, I know this is released on FaceTime. This is FaceTime. But...
You know, I don't know.
So it was released on Face Down.
Okay.
Did they record it while they were signed with?
I think they
Facedown? That's the question.
recorded all but Bloodline or all but Colder
Okay.
with Face Down.
Yeah. Gosh.
Either way,
Yeah.
this is really good stuff for how unknown they are, and I'm stoked to see them grow and get super big.
Yeah, I think there's a lot here, and with hopefully COVID in the rearview mirror, them getting out and hopefully getting on a good tour or something like that. Like, who knows, man? They could be the next. They're kind of like Fit for a King too in some ways. I think that's a good comparison also, because like their clean vocals. I think it's their drummer that does the clean vocals.
Yeah,
he is so good.
Yeah, it's like where's he been this whole time?
Yeah. And I didn't hear Bloodlines before. Hevel's the first time I've ever heard of them. But then I went back after listening to this and listening to some of their older stuff, and it's different than what.
What do you think of their older stuff?
It's good. I like it a lot.
A little heavier.
I think musically it's still roughly the same, but I mean vocally, yeah, it's heavier. But like this clean vocalist, he makes like the band so much more dynamic, and I think you have that kind of Fit for a King huge chorus, right? You got these huge choruses with stuff behind it, and like Colder's a really good example. I think you said for like kind of those melody Marys or whatever you said. Like, oh, it's such a great song to show them because that chorus hits so hard, dude.
So, for those of you that are listening, if you have not listened to their older stuff, I'll give you a jump start on their previous album, their full length, Hostile Minds. If you like Hevel, the song, right, then you're going to like Spiritual Warfare. Like, my wife loves Spiritual Warfare. And if you like Lotus, where they just jump out and say Yahweh, and they're not afraid to say Jesus, then you're going to like Babylon. Because
is that where they scream Jesus?
Yeah, they have that breakdown where they're like, Jesus Christ or something.
Oh, yeah.
It's
brutal.
Like, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's great. And their first EP, which is, also 5 tracks, like, it is so heavy. But there's no clean singing. But yeah, I think with Hevel, this is like, everything's going uphill. Everything's getting better.
Yeah,
like uphill is almost it's downhill makes.
They found their sound. They found who they are, their identity. And I think it's something that like people want to hear. I truthfully through our Discord and Instagram, like people have been stoked about them, and especially this EP, people have really latched on to it. And so,
do you like their album cover? Like the artwork?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's cool. No, I said
Dude,
yeah.
I think it's like one of the best.
What?
Like, I flat out love it.
I guess I don't, it probably is. I don't really take heed to all. I don't know. I don't really focus on the album art. Give me some examples of like what I should be comparing it to recently. Gary's going to point to his wall.
Dude, no. I don't know. Like, there's just some album arts that like I see and, it gives you like an immediate feeling of the album.
Sure.
And sometimes the feeling comes after listening. Sometimes you just see it right away and you're like, I'm going to like this album. And that's how I felt like with Hevel.
Yeah.
Other ones that I super, super like is like the new Norma Jean, the latest Norma Jean. All Hail.
That's a great one.
The Act. I think that's super cool. Pretty much all of my vinyls on the wall. But it was interesting because we were trying to do like a poll for like album art of the year kind of thing to see what people thought on Instagram and whatnot, but we wanted to get like people's opinions first, and I brought up Hevel and other people were like, it's like one of the worst arts ever, like I hate it. And I was like, what's to hate? What? And they're like, it's just like a torso that's broken apart. And I'm like, yeah, isn't it cool? It's got like that golden band that goes around it, and plus, it's weird that
it's weird that people would say they hate it.
It's just they don't think it'd be a top 16 of the year kind of thing, or of all time even. But anyway, I don't know. I super love it. I think it looks super cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know who did it, I feel like I just kind of want to go grab it and
Grab
shove
it
in
and
your
just, like,
face
show.
on the camera. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think, gosh, like, I'm really stoked to talk about these guys, but I'm actually excited to see what's going to go on. Like, since they've got on Face Down now, hopefully we might get an LP. I know they're like done EPs and stuff, but what would an LP look like? And
dude, 5 more tracks like what we just heard.
gosh,
That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, be so good.
Yeah, and I'm delayed. You talked about seeing them go on bigger shows and stuff.
Yeah,
Like, they're going on tour with Convictions, and I'm hoping that gives them a
good.
lot of traction.
Yeah,
Because, Convictions frontman just finished the ABR tour.
yeah,
Because Jake Lears had to drop for whatever reason. And so they have probably way more listeners now as Convictions, and then these guys are going to be on tour with them, and hopefully that gets them even more. But dude, if they come within a 4 hour,
4 mile. That's all you're gonna go 4 miles for them, Gary.
That's it. I'll hit I-90, but no, if they come within a 4 hour radius of me,
dude.
like, I'm there, dude. And
Yeah.
I'll drag all those guys on from Montana that are on our Discord.
Oh yeah, dude.
Make them all come.
The thing is, like, and I think we're both on the same page here. This band, just from an EP that we've heard, like, we'll drive anywhere in the Pacific Northwest just to see these guys. Because, I mean, thinking of newer bands that I've heard of, these guys are right up there with my favorites. Like,
Yeah, they get you excited
wait.
quick. Yeah.
Yeah, cannot wait to see what's going to happen. And there's a lot of good stuff coming out right now, or in the recent years, of when we talk about metalcore. But, like, lyrically, just all in, unashamed,
Yep.
musically heavy, brutal, and, like you said, modern. I think that's just awesome.
So I think that wraps up our discussion
Yep.
episode. So look forward to our deep dive. Hopefully it won't be out too long. It's only 5 songs. Like, how long can we talk about 5 songs, right?
Dude, I think we can talk a while about them. That's how good they are. Like, I'm pretty stoked. Not only is it going to be a deep dive, like, musically, because they have awesome breakdowns, but, man, we're going to be preaching sermons, basically.
We'll see.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to, like, make any promises and, like,
I said they were going to preach sermons. Yeah, no.
you guys
I feel
barely gave us a sermon. But yeah. Anyway.
cool, dude. Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for listening. Check out our Discord. Follow us on Instagrams and things.
Yeah.
What's the other
Don't
thing?
forget, hey, you can buy us a cup of coffee if you like what we're doing. Get on Patreon and become a patron. We love all of our patrons, and you get some awesome things. You get some early access to episodes, and you get to see our discussion videos. Like, we've recorded this right now. I'm seeing Gary's face, his beautiful beard, and he's seeing me. You know? So if you
Curled
become
my
a patron,
mustache.
he did. He did.
Yeah, and the money Tyler and I, we use the money for giveaways. We use it to pay for our editing software. We use it to pay for cameras, mics, stuff like that.
Sweet, dude. All right. Until next time, guys.
Thank you for listening.